gentlemen, welcome to the biggest show in the world on this beautiful hump day. You are listening to Rob the Mad Hatter, and I am sitting here talking to my boy, the Dream. Son, what is going on out there?
The Toledo Rockets caught one last night, so what happened?
They're not going to vie for a national championship now?
No, they're not going to be in the national championship. They're not number one anymore.
Oh, my God, man. The Toledo Rockets, I cannot believe how they lost that game, man. These guys are sitting there every single time they had the ball. They put themselves in a third and long situation. And I don't know if you watched the game last night, Dream. It was kind of a junky game.
I did not.
I watched the game front to back. Northern Illinois loses their top receiver and their quarterback halfway through the game and still pulled it out.
Wow.
Unbelievable stuff that went down there on that game, man. And, I mean, I did not realize this, but Northern Illinois, I guess, has their number. This is the 6th straight year that they beat them, and they always seem to come back in the fourth quarter and get the job done. You know, that Toledo team, man, I just don't know. It just seemed like, you know, you're running the ball, running for short yardage. You got clear short yardage plays your first two downs, and all of a sudden you're 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11s, 3rd and 8s. It was driving me crazy, man. And just coming down the field, I'm looking at them, I'm like, don't tell me it's going to be another 3rd and long. Sure enough, you know, just nonstop, and they kept getting lucky first downs, man. I was like, oh, this game is going to be a problem, and sure enough, the Northern Illinois Huskies come out and win the damn game on a Tuesday, kid. How about that?
Son, kids ain't loyal.
Yeah, right.
These kids ain't loyal. Anything can happen on the landscape of college football. You guys got to be cognizant of that at all times. I didn't get involved. Yesterday was a day off for me. I didn't get involved. I didn't play. I just, kind of sat back, kicked it with the fam. We had a couple of little birthday events. My wife's aunt, so I had to go over there and endure a little bit of that, which was a pretty good time anyway. Except for, My wife's niece, they have a dog, and we're going to get into this. I know we got probably a bunch of dog people out there, and I know you guys love dogs. And I do like dogs, too. I do not dislike dogs, except I don't like dogs, like, everywhere, okay? I'm a dog should be, like, outside where they used to be at kind of person. I'm not the 2015 guy where, like, you could bring the dog, like, to the bank with you and to the mall. It's like the dog doesn't belong, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't belong there. And my son has had, like, a traumatic experience with a dog, so he's terrified of the dog. So now, what I got now is I got a whole me and the dog now got to play, tug of war with my son in the middle, because the dog now has picked up that my son's afraid of him, so now the dog wants to just mess with him the whole time. So now I can't sit and enjoy because now I want to take the dog and do something bad to him. You know what I'm saying? Because the dog is like being a jerk. Like, he's trying to get the food out of my son's hand, and he's barking, and they won't take him outside. And even though I keep going on and on about dogs not being in places, they're not picking up the hint. They're like, oh, they're like my kid. I'm like, he's not a kid. He's a dog. That's a kid, the one I got, that I'm going to drop off at your house and let him terrorize your stuff. So they're like, but he was in the cage all day. I'm like, well, why? He's like a kid. I don't put my kids in a cage. So that was the only dynamic of the headache that I had last night with the dog running around after my kid. And I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I do love dogs. But people have, like, lost it with dogs. And you know what? Most people who love dogs, their neighbor could be laying dead on the street and they would walk right past them with their dog. I love people more than I love dogs. I'm sorry.
You know what it is, man. And my bride really screwed me with my two. I got a two-piece of little dogs, and, we bought the one and whatever, and I was like, obviously I just met her, and, we're, obviously, lover's lane and the whole package. I say, yeah, whatever you want, sure, whatever. So I get her the one dog. Now she's like, oh, well, the dog's going to be lonely. So now I get her a second dog, and that was the worst thing in the world, because now they feed off each other when they do bad stuff. And it's just like, dude, you know what? I said, when they go, that's it for me. I'm sorry, but that's it. And I'll take care of it. I'll do everything. I promise you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
What? Yeah, who's the one cleaning up when the dog messes or whatever? It's your boy. So whatever. Hey, it is what it is, man. And we got to get into the sports, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man, because there was a little show last night that dropped a little hint about who they think are the top 4 teams and the top 25 teams in collegiate football. And there's a lot of people that disagree with the initial rankings, but I can tell you guys this much. For anybody that's disappointed right now, relax, because that means nothing. It's just like the regular rankings right now. I mean, a lot of people are, yelling, oh, why isn't Baylor ahead of Alabama? Well, Baylor hasn't played anybody yet. TCU hasn't really played anybody yet. You guys got to wait, because now Oklahoma State, TCU, Baylor, and Oklahoma all need to play each other coming down the stretch. And any one of those teams that runs a table, there is no way in hell they're not making the playoffs. And I'm sure you agree with me on that, Dream.
I do, but I also agree with the argument of why Baylor isn't ahead of Alabama. I do agree with that argument as well still. And I do agree with the TCU thing because Alabama lost a game. I don't care. I'm more of the guy, look, if you lost, you don't get in front of a team that hasn't lost, as long as it's somewhat comparable. And Baylor's record, they've played some comparable teams, that have been, I won't say as good as maybe some of the teams that Alabama has played. I got that, but they still played some good teams and beat them. So I am on the fence with Bama. I don't like Bama being there. I don't.
You don't like Bama being in there?
No, and part of Bama being there too, and you, dude, you know it. It's Nick Saban, it's Alabama, and who they've been the last few years. And it's them, overrating the SEC conference. I'm just saying that dynamic is involved in that ranking as well. Come on, you got to give it up.
To a certain extent. The challenge, if it ended today, see, this is all speculation and all that.
Right.
Obviously, we got so many. You got Bama and LSU playing this weekend, so one of them teams is going to get knocked out right away. You know what I'm saying? And one of the undefeateds will obviously take their place. But when you look at it, I do have a problem with Alabama right this second. And I'll tell you why. Because, number one, they do have a loss. Number two is that they just squeaked by Tennessee. Which they did not win in any impressive fashion. So now, I think they'll shut everybody up by beating LSU, though.
Son, like I said, I just don't like Bama being in there right now. I don't think I just don't think it's fair. And here's my thing. This is why I don't like Bama being in there with their one loss. Because if you take any of the 3 teams in front of them, maybe the exception of Ohio State. So just say you take one loss, put it on Clemson, one loss, put it on LSU. Guess what? They're nowhere to be found.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you look at it right now, guys, this is the way the college football playoff rankings have been released. They have Clemson, undefeated Clemson, number 1. They have a couple of decent victories under their belt, including... And
y'all don't know this, but Scott Weaver slipped the crew like a package or something for
Yes, definitely.
For the season and some money, and they let Clem be number 1. So don't fall for that.
So Clemson is number 1. We have, number 2 LSU, number 3 Ohio State, and number 4 Alabama. So the way it would shake out, if it ended today, like I said, guys, it's all speculation. It's all going to change. But Clemson would play Alabama, and LSU would play Ohio State. And the first 2 out would be number 5 Notre Dame, who does not have a conference championship since they are an independent, guys, just so you know. So that is going to be a big, big problem for them. And number 6, Baylor. Going down the rest of the top 10, you're looking at Michigan State, number 7. Number 8, TCU. Number 9, Iowa. And number 10, Florida. Dream, there's just so much that's going to happen before
that. A lot going to happen. Definitely a lot going to happen. There's a lot of dynamics. And you know what? For some teams, though, the road getting there, unfortunately, it's like life. So I shouldn't even make a big deal of it. But for some teams, the road is going to be a lot harder to get there than other teams. Because I can tell you right now, Clemson plays nobody.
Clemson plays nobody. I spotted that a couple of weeks ago. And that's
nobody.
I hit Weaver up. I said, dude, what about your boys? Because not for nothing, they have a really good shot at getting, being undefeated and getting in there.
They play nobody. And you know what? Unfortunately, now see, here's my thing. Because now where they're at, I would discount now the rest of their schedule. They should lose points for the rest of their schedule instead of maintaining their position.
Well, here's the deal. if they beat Florida State this weekend, which they are a 12-point favorite, which they should beat Florida State, they will clinch the ACC, the Atlantic side. So what they'll have to do in the ACC championship is play either North Carolina or the Dukies. And I just don't see them losing to North Carolina or the Dukies, to be honest with you.
North Carolina, jeez, nah, they can't.
North Carolina is 7-1 right now.
I don't see it.
4-0 in conference play. So
I'd love to see it, but I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I think Clemson will be like a double-digit favorite in that particular matchup. So the biggest one, man, is the Big 12. The Big 12, as long as there's an undefeated team in the Big 12, that team will make the playoffs, guys. Mark my words. You got Oklahoma State, TCU, Baylor, and Oklahoma, and they all have to play each other, like I said before. TCU has to play Oklahoma State this weekend. And TCU is favored. I don't know what the line is yet. Let me just pull it up real quick, guys. TCU, I'm pulling up their schedule. They are -5 versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has 0 defense, Dream.
I know. You don't got to tell me. I seen them against Texas Tech.
Absolutely brutal. Oh, last weekend. Yeah, exactly. And then, so the way you got for TCU, you got at Oklahoma State. Then they got to play Kansas, which is nobody. Then they got to go to Oklahoma and finish it off with the Baylor Bears at home. Baylor Bears with the second-string quarterback. So
I know. That really stinks for them, man.
Yeah, because Baylor, I think, would have been the team.
I don't know. I mean, I think I happen to agree with you there a lot, too. It would have been, obviously you can't speak on it because we didn't see it, but that really stinks for them. And I am going to, obviously, I'm DVRing that game if I can't catch it because I do want to see, how much of a drop-off it is to the next guy. I mean, I did see a little bit of him in, but like you like to say, it's a completely different situation when you're starting the game right out of the gate as opposed to coming in with a 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 in Baylor's situation point lead.
Right, exactly. And the game's Thursday night. They're playing Kansas State Thursday night, Baylor.
No doubt, but I got it, dude. You going to watch that or you going to watch the football, the pro game?
I'm going to flip back and forth.
Yeah, I don't want to flip back. That's just it. I want to see. I want to watch the game. You know what I mean? When I flip back and forth, like you miss stuff. You can't figure out how this happened. You know what I'm saying? I want to watch the game and watch them. From.
You realize what the game is Thursday?
I do.
Cleveland Browns at Cincinnati.
And I love Cincinnati, so I got to watch my Cincinnati team because I think this could be their year.
Oh, I don't know, man. That's a tall order to knock off the Broncos and the Patriots, kid.
Son, I like the Broncos. You still, oh, my God. You got to please fall back with the Broncos.
All right, man.
You have got to fall back with the Broncos, player.
Why?
Because, man, have you not watched my boy? Are you not seeing him throw the ball?
I am, but I've been watching Seattle the last few years too with a dusty offense.
Nobody's come up lamer in the playoffs in these situations. What are you going to do when the weather gets cold now with this guy's arm? Listen. That thing is spelling disaster. I'm not one to feed into the media hype about certain things, but they've been talking about this, and it's been building every week. They backed off a little bit this week after last week's performance, but, dude, that weather is starting. It's in Denver soon. The weather's going to be really nasty. Once you get into that playoff landscape, I'm telling you, man, Peyton Ball, I think Peyton Ball is going to be a serious liability to the Broncos with what he got going on with that arm and his throwing.
All right, back to the college football playoff, man, just real quick.
Sorry.
Hey, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, we're talking about the nasty game on Thursday night, so, we had to go and have a quick conversation about some of the teams that may emerge over the Bengals. But I strongly believe in my heart of hearts that the Big Ten Conference will get a team in there. And
really?
Right now, yeah, I mean, you got Sparty, you got Ohio State, and you got Iowa. And the way it works is whoever the winner is of Sparty.
Oh, no. Ohio – no.
Whoever
definitely.
wins between Ohio State and Michigan State, unless Michigan State decides to lose one of their nasty games coming up, or Ohio – I mean, Ohio State has to go to Michigan, but I still feel that even if they lose at Michigan and beat Michigan State, I think that they will slide in as long as they win the Big Ten Conference, and they're going to have to probably play Iowa. Because they would be kings of the East and kings of the West in the Big Ten would be Iowa. And nasty Iowa is not that bad, man.
I love you trying to tell me that nasty Iowa's not that bad. That's hilarious, son.
They're
Stop
not
it.
that bad, man. I got involved with them this weekend. I was, taking a look at them or whatever. And
I told you at the beginning of the season, like week 2, that they were very improved. You didn't want to hear no parts of it because of what they've done in the past. But I told you that Iowa was that they were good. They were up and coming. I didn't want to go crazy yet, and I haven't started tooting their whistle. But it is about time that we start having the conversation, as you put it, about the Iowa Hawkeyes and what they've been doing this year, because they've been getting it done, man.
Upcoming schedule, man. Listen, they got to go to Indiana.
Tough.
They've got 2 home games versus Minnesota and Purdue, and then they got to go to Nebraska. Nebraska's been dusty, man.
Tough. No, but all of those are all potentially tough games, though. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way they play and know each other. And, Nebraska, they're dusty until they play you.
Yeah, good point.
You know what I'm saying? Minnesota, dusty until they play you. Now, all of a sudden, they're giving you fits with what they're doing. So, that 3-team matchup you just talked about, even though I think Iowa could win, those are all, we got to watch them,
Yep, exactly. So, definitely somebody out of the Big Ten now.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So, I mean, this is the way I'm calling it, guys. I'm looking at it ACC Clemson, obviously. I mean, unless they slip up. I can't see them slipping up to Florida State. I can't see them slipping up to North Carolina or Duke in the championship game. I can't see it. So, pretty much got to almost assume that Clemson. I mean, you can't assume anything in college, but
I think North Carolina, honestly, they may be the one team that I maybe would raise a slight eyebrow and say, careful.
Careful, huh?
Yep.
All right, as far as playing Clemson.
Right.
Okay, all right. So going back to this, guys, let's just take a look here. So, ACC definitely, Big 12 definitely, unless all these teams beat each other up in the Big 12 and they all have one loss, which is possible as well.
And the Big 12, guys, I got to be honest with you, because it's my favorite conference right now. I think the Big 12 is, to me, I think that's my opinion, that's the strongest conference right now. And like you said, if they all were to beat each other up, it would be a shame if they didn't make it. Because to me, I think that they've all very battle tested.
Absolutely. Well, I have a sleeper pick.
Go. Let me hear this.
Big 12. And you're probably gonna think I'm crazy. But the Oklahoma Sooners, man.
Yeah.
Oklahoma Sooners. I know they can't win big games with Stoops and all that. I get it. But at some point, it's got to happen.
Dude, you cannot unfortunately for me, you cannot sleep and sneak your way in with losing to Texas like you did.
I disagree.
That is just a horrible loss, son, especially where Texas was at when they were at. I mean, that's a bad loss, dude.
I highly disagree with you. Think about it. They got to play Iowa State this weekend. They should win. They're 25.5-point favorite, okay? But then they got to go to Baylor. And Baylor, remember what we talked about. They have the backup quarterback in, man. So there's a very good chance that Oklahoma can knock off Baylor. So if they knock off Baylor, right, now they got TCU coming into their building, right? And then the last game of the year is the Civil War rivalry there. They got to go into Oklahoma State. They can win all those games, bro.
No, they could, and then I guess they do deserve a chance in. I just struggle with my thing is I struggle with that loss to Texas.
I know. But it
was a bad loss. It wasn't like a Texas got them with a last minute field goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but they only lost by 1 touchdown.
Yeah, but son, it was Texas. God, Jesus. All right, but anyway,
interdivision matchup, man.
I'll be honest with you. You know who I like more than them, and you didn't discuss this. This Stanford team.
We got to have a conversation about them. They have a very, very difficult schedule coming up.
They do.
Well, not so much up until the end with Notre Dame, man. But when you look at when you go back to that, man, guys, we're having a little debate here on college football teams, just in case you're turning in, because they did have the top 25 were announced last night, and there are some holes in that as far as I'm concerned. But taking a look at this, Stanford, man, Stanford has to play. I know they have to play Notre Dame at the end.
Very end. They got Oregon and Cal. And Cal, you know what? I told you, Cal is a pesty team, and I like their quarterback out there, a very good quarterback. Yeah. But if they can run the table, it will be a shame if they don't get in.
If they run the table,
Yep.
That means they knocked off Notre Dame.
Right.
That means they'll knock off Utah in the Pac championship.
Yep.
So a one-loss Stanford team has a very good shot at sneaking in.
So now, do you let the one-loss Stanford team in, or do you let Oklahoma in?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Hold on a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
No, let me think about this for a minute.
Yep.
The Big 12 doesn't have a conference championship game. So there's one. Stanford will have one more win than them.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Wow, that's a really good point. If Stanford runs the table, wow. And then you have, in Alabama, SEC champion.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I just think that for some reason I'm just looking at this as ACC, Big 12, SEC, and Big 10.
Okay.
And I see the Pac, left out. I could be wrong.
That's why 6 teams should make it, but whatever.
8 teams.
I think 8 is too big.
Why?
But
why?
Because they don't. I mean, they wanted to keep it relatively small because, even though nobody's going to school, but there's supposed to be education going on. You know what I mean, behind the scenes. So they wanted to keep it relatively small. But that's why I said run with the 6 as opposed to the 8. But I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, I'd love 8 too. But they don't want to do. I mean, they don't want to do 8 because they want to keep it tight. Plus, it eats into the bowls. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you realize this though, but listen, when this whole thing starts, it starts on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
The championship game is until a week and a half later on the 11th.
I know. I get it. I understand. But I'm saying when they first presented this, the presentation was they wanted to keep it small because they didn't want it to evolve into like a 16-team playoff situation because they didn't want it to just that's not what they wanted. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it. Well, if you were to do 8 teams, just going back to this, if you were to do 8 teams, I mean, most of the national championship games are played in a dome, so we don't really have any weather to worry about there. But if they were to slide like one more round in, what's the difference? You do it like the following weekend, and then the following weekend you do the national championship like the following Monday.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get that 2-week off span. You know what I mean? Or that whatever it is. It's 10 days. You would cut into that span and then playing. I mean, I'm all for it. I love it. I'm with you. But I just know that when they first presented this, those were some of the issues that they had, and they had issues with people going to class and going to school, and all that other stuff that got involved with this, and they just didn't want it to grow out of too big. And I see it with 8. Then next thing you know, after we get to 8, then it'll be, well, how about every conference, every conference has a playoff and every conference brings their own team out. Whoever wins their you know what I mean? It will turn into some situation like that.
I love that. I think that's great. I think you got to win your conference championship to get in. And I think that works, dude. I think
it doesn't work because then you're going to have a team. That's not going to work. That's almost a problem with the NFL right now. That you get a team like Killer Cam last year that because they won the division makes it to the playoffs with that dusty record.
Got another sleeper for you.
Uh-oh.
And you're probably going to think I'm crazy with this one, but I don't think I'm so crazy here. I think the Florida Gators got a shot too.
Yeah, no, I know. I see the Gators there. I somewhat agree with you with that. But you know what the Gators is going to come down to? They're going to have to play Alabama. They may, you know what I mean? It may end up playing Alabama for the SEC championship.
Oh, of course, dude.
Right.
Listen to the Florida Gators.
You think the Gators are beating Bama?
I think they got a great shot to beat anybody, bro. Anybody in the land. I mean, they only lost to LSU at Death Valley by 7 points.
Dude, I don't think they can beat Alabama. I honestly don't think Florida.
Hey, well, here's their upcoming schedule: Vanderbilt out South Carolina, Florida Atlantic at home, and Florida State at home. This is the Florida Gators I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know.
So SEC championship, if they sneak by LSU or Bama, whoever that team is, hey, they got a big case to make as well, man.
Yes.
So, all right, guys. So, hey, I think we did enough college football, man. We've been going at it for about a half hour now.
No doubt.
We got to talk a little NBA real quick, man. The Black Mamba kid. I got news for you, man. I watched him.
Yeah.
No good.
No, son, I didn't say it was dope.
No, I know. The Lake Show is no good, guys.
I didn't say it was dope.
You know
I said that they could be better than they look.
Well, if there was a game where they could have won, it was last night versus.
Well, that's what I said.
Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets, man, look, were sloppy, nasty, just not even like all there, and they managed to just beat up on Lake Show. I mean, dude, that was just an ugly, ugly game to watch, man. It was like watching Killer Cam and the Colts the other night. You know what I mean?
Son, I love you stayed up to watch the Lake Show. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I know. It was crazy, man. I was watching the whole game, man.
Oh my God.
I know. I've been watching a lot of sports, man. I got the package now with the NHL. I got the package with the NBA. Got my TV going. I got all these computer screens, guys. I rock and roll on the nights. And my bride comes down every once in a while. Wants to talk about something. I'm like, please, not right now, please. Especially like I'm in overtime with the Habs. Please leave me alone. So whatever. That's what I got to do.
She goes upstairs and texts her boyfriend.
Yeah, right.
I can't wait to take half of his stuff. He's down there talking about that please again. Just watch. He'll be asking please in a minute. Please don't take half my stuff, babe. Please, I'll put the TVs down for a minute, son.
Oh yeah, I'm
balance that out.
I'm taking 2 of these TVs. You left with 1. How about that?
Oh my God.
In the meantime, sending emails to the lawyer. Yeah, the whole package. Yeah, I get it. But anyway, going back to the NBA, man. A couple of things. Detroit Pistons caught their first loss. Memphis Grizzlies. Hey, my man TK was on that, and I was as well. So, congratulations on that one. That was like one of my only bright spots of the day, other than the Dallas Stars in the NHL.
No doubt.
Yeah, and other than that, man, nothing real. The Toronto Raptors are 4-0, Dre.
The Raptors were they were dope last year. Lost a little bit after the All-Star break. But they were very good and a good team last year. And I played them a lot last year and won with them, after football got over. So definitely keep an eye on them, and they're very good at home. I just didn't like the way they ended their season, and especially in the playoffs, the way they went out kind of the East, man, there was a big disappointment with a lot of teams in the East last year once the playoffs started. Teams that you thought would be, kind of tough and battle-hardened and ready to play playoff basketball really fell off when the playoffs started and had me scratching my head. So I still kind of got that salty taste, salty feel about certain teams, from last year.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, a bunch of games going on tonight in all the different sports. It is Wednesday. It is Hump Day, and we are on Twitter right now at SBTV Nation and SBTVNation.com, guys. Newsletters going out today. Make sure you register on our site. It's absolutely free. We're not asking you for nothing. Just put your name and your email address there, and we'll send you our newsletter, giving you all the guests that are coming up throughout the upcoming weeks of the show, Dream. So yesterday's guest was good. I really liked him a lot.
Yes, he was very
Brian
good.
Mahoney.
I liked all of his outlooks and his take on a lot of things yesterday. He's definitely was a stellar guest. Our guests as of late, to be honest with you, they've all been like on point. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we've definitely stepped our level up quite a bit as far as not only just the professionalism, but just the insight and the information that we're getting. We're getting like closer to closer. I can't wait till we're on here with Fishbone. You know what I mean? Have him on here after he gets let go by the Knicks. Have him on here talking with us and talking to us about the dynamics of their practices.
Fishbone. Let's book Fishbone on the show. Let's get him on. Let's hear the post-game conference.
Know what I'm saying?
We're going to be one of them guys with the SBTV mics, like, holding it up to him.
After Thibodeau takes over, it'll be like, the Dream said that Thibodeau should have been the coach 2 years ago, and they're now making that happen. We could get Cap on here next. Hey, Cap, now that you've finally been let go by the Niners, you got a lot of free time on your hands. Could you come on and talk to us for a minute?
Yes, definitely. That's funny, man. That is funny stuff. All right, so...
hey, by the way, speaking of Cap, I just want to point this out one more time. The Niners just lost Reggie Bush. Carlos Hyde is down. They just brought in Pierre Thomas from the Saints. Guess who still didn't get a call?
Ray Rizzle.
Ray Rizzle need to run for president. He should run for president now. Ray Rizzle is getting blacklisted by the NFL, and y'all know it. Ray, call the show. We need to talk to Ray Rice. Get Ray Rice on the line,
we gotta get on the show. We get Ray Rice on here.
You know what I'm saying? We need to talk to Ray because he got some free time. You talk about salty. I bet you he's salty about some stuff.
I bet you he's completely salty, man. So, hey, I feel you with that.
Yo, that crib must be right now
bonkers.
That crib must be in tension right now. I'll be like, yo, shut all her credit cards down. I want the leg. I don't give me the keys to her car. She drives a horse and buggy out of this piece.
I wonder what his agent's doing, man.
Ooh, just trying to avoid Ray's phone calls.
Because you know Ray's on the phone with him every 2 minutes.
No doubt, Ray is sweating him 24/7, calling him nonstop. Yo, what's up, man? How come the Niners ain't asked for a tryout?
About to get a new agent, man.
Know what I mean? Ray, call me. I'm going to get you, me and Jesse and Al Sharpton, everybody. I'll get everybody going. Because, come on, we gotta get Ray Rice back in the NFL.
Yeah, he needs like a PR person, man. He needs somebody.
Son.
He needs somebody to like.
Let's let the SBTV Nation represent Ray.
He needs to like go like and like do something in the limelight to prove that he's like healed. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. He need to go I would go and visit him. Listen. Let me stop. I say something jacked up is wrong.
Yeah, man.
But he does need to go do some stuff.
He needs to do some like community.
Get out there,
service,
Special Olympics.
Yeah,
go find somebody.
Man.
That's on their deathbed and hang out with them.
I know. I mean, I don't know. I never see him in the media doing anything good.
You know what I mean? Be out there, the Martin Luther King Drive, cleaning up. You know what I mean? Invested in it.
I don't know, man. He's got to do something to get back in the good graces of the NFL and some of these teams, man. Because I mean, as like you said, as bad as some of these teams are, I mean, Diego should pick them up. You know what I mean? Being 2-6 or whatever, or Baltimore, well, not Baltimore, obviously, but one of these teams that just is kind of still has a shot. But
Giants, I mean, the Cowboys are still out there. I mean, we could go out for days about a team that could use Ray Rizzle as a running back. By the way, Baltimore could use Ray Rizzle as a running back.
Right, exactly.
They ain't exactly tearing it up.
Got a game going on tonight in collegiate football, guys. You got the Ohio Bobcats going into the Bowling Green Falcons. Bowling Green 6-2, looking at trying to get themselves in a bowl game with a very high-powered offense. Minus 21 points with an under-over of 68.5 points tonight, Dream. Have you seen this Bowling Green team?
A little bit, not a lot.
Dan swears by them.
Nah, they're explosive.
Yeah, very explosive, man. When you take a look at the stats coming up here, obviously they're giving 21 points. They average just over almost 44 points a game. The Ohio Bobcats, sorry about that. It's my phone ringing. I love people want to call me while I'm live on the air. Ohio,
Ray Rice playing.
Yeah,
we can get that. It could be right.
He heard it. It's Fishbone.
Say these cats is filling me. Let me call it.
It's Fishbone, man. It's Fishbone. Let's see. Ohio is scoring about 25.5 points a game, giving up about 23. Bowling Green giving up 4 touchdowns a game, 28.5. When you take a look at this, Bowling Green is superior in most statistical categories I'm looking at. Minus 21 points. Guess what, guys? I have absolutely no opinion or say or desire to even get involved in this game. And I'm sure you feel the exact same way, Dream.
Exact same way.
But Bowling Green can go and lay the smackdown on them. But you know what? That's something that I am not interested in. Bowling Green beat them last year 31-13. The year before, 49-0. The year before that, 26-14. So they won the last 3 matchups in the last 3 years versus Ohio. So I don't know, guys. You know what? Hey, hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what your thoughts are as far as that is concerned, and we will have a conversation about that. Let's shoot over to, what do you want to do, NBA first or the NHL?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you like. We go NBA.
I'm going to go NBA, okay, because you got Pop is playing tonight. They're going to the Washington Wizards, man. And San Antonio is -4 with an under-over of 201. San Antonio coming off their victory against the New York Knicks. Not traveling that far, had the night off last night. I just don't know what to expect out of this Washington team, Dream.
Yeah, the Washington team has been, once again this year, they look like they're up right where they left off last year with like a big question mark. Still not knowing what exactly they're going to do. So this will be an interesting game to watch. Very, very interesting for the Washington Wizards part of it, to see how they respond to the Spurs. I think we kind of know who the Spurs are. The Spurs don't really change a lot. And, yesterday I heard something interesting about the Spurs, and I guess Tim Duncan is playing for like $5 million, which is like for him no money for what he's doing, but gave back a bunch of money so that the Spurs could go out there and get some. Dude, there's like no athletes left, honestly, like Tim Duncan. Big ups to this dude, for like really getting it. You know what I'm saying? A guy whose reputation, it's unblemished, untarnished, just a pristine reputation, always been like one of the classiest athletes professional athletes that I could think of. He's got an old, blue collar work ethic about him. He's not into being a superstar and all the fanfare. Definitely bought into team effort, keeps himself in phenomenal shape. You don't hear about a whole bunch of nonsense in the offseason. This is what a pro athlete, in my opinion, he epitomizes what a pro athlete should be. And big hats off to him for his dedication and also his just common sense type of stance with being an NBA player.
I completely agree with you on that. I definitely like his gameplay, and I like his demeanor. I like everything about it. And then when they do a interview with him, he sounds totally different than he looks, huh?
No doubt, definitely. I love the way he comes across. I mean, it's great, like. It's just good to see him in interviews, the way he speaks. You can understand what he's saying. It's not a bunch of. He's definitely knowledgeable of the game. You can tell he knows what's going on out there. I just hats off to him, man. It's so refreshing seeing an athlete like him still around in today's day and age in today's athletics.
How many years do you think he's got left?
Duncan Stick?
Yeah,
dude, I can't believe he's playing now.
I think this might be his last year.
I think it might be his last one too. I can't, like I said, I don't believe he's still going, but he is going, and I would kind of agree with you. I think this might be his last year, especially if they were to win.
Yeah, definitely. Razor Ramon said that's something Kobe should do. I agree, man. Let's see what else.
Exactly. That's why I'm bringing it up, by the way.
Yeah, Kobe. Kobe
is not, by the way, Kobe's not that guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
You know what I mean? Kobe is probably in there trying to renegotiate more money for his contract. Say that's why I'm playing so lousy, because I need another $100 million to get this right.
Let me ask you a question. You think Kobe is similar to Carmelo Anthony as far as not making players better around him?
No, that I don't think. I think Kobe does make the players around him better.
So, huh?
Just by Kobe's his own worth ethic and his own drive to want to win. Kobe, like one thing you can never take away from him is his will to want to win. Like, he always wants to win, and you can see that. That's very, it's very present when you watch his gameplay. Whereas Carmelo, you watch him, it's like, I want to make my shot, or I want to get this shot, or I want to, it just is not all about, I don't feel, and this is my personal opinion, guys, I don't feel that the will to win for Carmelo is like it is for Kobe. Kobe's always in shape. His off-season workouts are talked about. That's part of why he and one of the dynamics of why he and Shaq didn't get along a lot, because Kobe always was in phenomenal shape. Shaq would show up not in shape, just wanting give me the ball down deep and I'm gonna dunk. Kobe always worked on every aspect of his game. So that's the one thing. His drive is a lot different than Carmelo.
Got it. A couple of other key matchups here. This one, I think, might be a little interesting here. You got the New York Knicks coming into my boy and the Cleveland Cavs. Cleveland Cavs are minus 9.5. It went from 12 down to 9.5 with an under-over of 201.5. I think my boy had a little scare the other day versus the
son. It's not no scare. You're in game 4. What's this, game 4 of the NBA season? Stop.
Yeah, all right. I watched the Knicks. The Knicks aren't bad. I just think Cleve is way better than them.
Cleve is way better than the Knicks. Be careful there, guys. Don't get involved with these points in these early games. It's early in the season. The players know it's a long season. I would say Cleveland will probably be focused tonight, as there's not a lot of stuff going on outside, other sports or whatever. But definitely be careful with the points and if you're getting involved in that. Dude, I am not loving this Knicks team though. Still,
I know you're not. I think they're going to be better than they were last year. We talked about it yesterday, but I just think that Cleveland is just far superior to them, and I think Cleveland gets the job done, and I think Cleveland wins by double digits or more tonight.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's see what else we have.
I can't refute that.
All right, looking at the we got. Oh, this is a good one, man. Toronto Raptors 4-0 coming into the 3-1 Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City minus 8.5 with an under/over of 210.5. Man,
coming off of an interesting loss to Houston, the Thunder.
They lost to the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not see that, man.
Yeah, they lost to the Houston Rockets. They lost to the Houston Rockets. You weren't up on that?
I wasn't involved in that game. No.
Yeah, they did it in they lost in, they went down in flames. I mean, they tried. It was a hard-fought game. I want to say Westbrook had a bunch of. Let me go back and see what that was.
Weren't they up though in that game for?
Yeah,
they
right. Oh, yeah, they were up. Yeah, they were.
I didn't finish paying attention to it. So wow, I'm surprised they lost that one. But hey, big ups to the Rockets for actually catching a win. But what else you got here? It
was Monday night. Yep. They lost it. The Rockets beat them 110-105. The Thunder were up. They were up at the half, and then they had a 14-point third quarter, which kind of really sealed their doom. But yeah, the Rockets rallied back and ended up beating them 110-105 in that particular game. Which, by the way, that being said, now the Rockets are once again back at home tonight, and you're playing this Magic team that's pesty. But I like the Rockets to get a win, to edge out and get a win tonight.
Yeah, taking a look at Oklahoma City tonight with Toronto. Yeah, I don't know what to make of Toronto yet. I mean, it's only 4 games into the season.
Right.
They are 4-0. I'd like to get an idea of, East versus West here and try to figure out the dynamic there. So I'm going to
I'll be honest with you. The Raptors, if there's any team on the East that plays sort of West Coast type basketball, it is the Raptors. They kind of do play a West Coast type style, even though they're located in the East. So you can keep that in mind with tonight's game.
That's why the under/over is 210.
Yep.
All right, I got you. And the Toronto Raptors, let's see, they are averaging 100. Yeah, you're right, Dream. Almost 107 points.
Yeah, you're right, Dream, son. You forgot who I was?
Averaging over, just 106.8 points a game, and OKC averaging 118. Wow.
Cats be hitting me with that all the time. Like when I give them some information, like about hockey or basketball, it's like, "Oh, Dream, you know what you're talking about?" I'm like, "Well, what you think? I'm just here just to keep you laughing."
Final game I want to talk about with you, man, and I think this is going to be a good one, is the LA Clips and Doc Rivers going into Golden State.
Son, you love messing with Rivers.
Not tonight. Not tonight with the Splash Brothers, man. The Splash Brothers go ham on them, I think.
But this is an important game, though.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers, and you know this, I would say this is an important game for the Clippers.
Very important.
The Clippers probably got this game marked. It's one of them games that they're going to be just a little bit more up for than usual, even in a long NBA season. Guys, this is a great game to watch. I don't know about getting involved in it, but this should be some good basketball. I'm going to try to see if I can get permission slip to watch this game tonight. Yes, I did say permission slip, because we're at that point in our relationship, and I don't go deep into hoop this soon. And my wife, she's like, "Yo, it's Wednesday, what you doing?" So I am going to get the permission slip to try to watch this game because I want to see how the Clippers handle Golden State, but I wouldn't get involved in gambling on it.
The truth, kid.
No doubt.
Dying to see the truth get
out
there.
I love you. That's your boy.
The truth is my guy.
I know.
Talking about Paul Pierce, the truth.
I don't know why he's your guy.
For the Clips. Yeah, ever since he made that shot versus Washington last year. Remember?
I know. It got him another year contract.
He carried the Washington Wizards on his back last year, man. Remember that?
And Doc had to have him because, he played for him when he was in Boston.
Yep.
So, he couldn't wait to probably reunite with him. But, you know what? I still think it's a good pickup. Some veteran leadership on the Clippers probably is going to be a good thing. So I actually do like him there. I think it will definitely help. Tonight's game is going to be very interesting. But you know what? Tonight's game, I guarantee you, I don't know if you guys, are involved in live stuff, but if you are, watch this game because you should see some signs pretty early on what's going to happen.
I concur. Fantasy hockey for me last night, kid. Off the chain. Tyler Seguin for the Dallas Stars. 3 goals, man. A hat trick.
Guys, one more game that you didn't mention actually there's 2 more games I'll mention that you might want to take a look at. One is Atlanta Hawks are coming back home. They got that awful Brooklyn Net team coming in. Listen, Brooklyn, I'm telling you, I told you already they're a bad team. They're a bad team. You might want to look at the Hawks. Obviously, I don't like any type of point scenario, so especially this early in the hoop season. So you might want to look at the Hawks. The Hawks need to entertain their home crowd a little bit, so you might want to look in that direction. And the other game of note you might want to look at as well. Nope, don't even look at that. Never mind.
All right, how about the Bucks giving 10 to the Sixers?
Yeah, don't look at that.
The Milwaukee Bucks, man.
Keep that moving.
No way, guys. No way. So, all right, let's shoot over to the ice and see what we got, man. Because we got a couple of games on the ticket here to have a quick conversation about, man. So let me just switch this up. All right. See what we got for the ice, man. So 1, 2, 3, 4 games on the ticket today. And when I look at the slate, I'm looking at one big game, I think, here is the St. Lucia Blues going into the Chicago Blackhawks tonight, Dream. Chicago minus 135, under/over of 5. St. Louis is 8-4. The Chicago Blackhawks are 7-5, 6-1 at home. We're already 12 games into hockey, man.
Yes, we are, and it's not nowhere near enough, especially when everybody makes the playoffs anyway. But this game, the one dynamic you might want to take a look at here, Kane's accuser completely is a wrap with any of that investigation. It was, I know if you guys are paying attention, it was talked about yesterday that she's like all done with it. So whatever went on there, which I have no clue about and don't know about, and whatever, is done. So Kane may have that weight lifted off of his shoulder, might be on the ice playing a little bit freelance. They might be a little bit of loosey-goosey tonight, and they may get down. I would stay away from this particular game for that reason alone. I wouldn't go near this game.
You wouldn't, huh?
No, because I think the Blackhawks might handle it, but the Blues are good, so it's not a game that I want to be involved in.
Kane's been pretty good, though.
Oh, no doubt, but imagine how good he's going to be now, knowing that he don't got no legal ramifications looming over his head anymore. See what I'm saying?
He averages 5.2 fantasy points per game. He's expensive, man. He's almost $8,000 in fantasy. But, he always produces, bro. Always produces, man. So
and the Blues Tarasenko is dope. Victor, I think it's
Vladimir.
Sorry,
Vladimir Tarasenko.
Vladimir Tarasenko.
That's another one of my guys, kid.
Yeah,
I get involved with all these kids.
I know. I love it because I remember last year talking about, oh, dude, I can't watch hockey. Oh, I can't do it.
I watched the Dallas Stars game almost front to back last night.
And is it hockey dope?
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty dope.
That was a week.
No, you know what? There was a couple of questions. I guess when it's two aggressive teams.
Okay.
I felt like the Boston Bruins last night were just kind of like they started off good in the beginning and just let Dallas push them around.
Son, what did I tell you about the Bruins prior to you getting involved last night?
You told me that Dallas will work you.
No, but I told you that the Bruins will always run out of gas. Remember I said the Bruins run out of gas?
Oh, yeah.
Remember it? I saw that against Tampa Bay, like the second game in the season. I'm like, it seems like there's something wrong with their conditioning. I don't know what it is, but by the third period, it's like they're spent.
Very good point, man. I mean, they were down 5-2. I was like, oh, this one's all set.
Yeah, I told you that Bruin team, I don't know what it is, but it's like after they come out gangbusters, and it's like almost like they're a 100-meter race team. They come out the gates really strong, and then they just lose it. You know?
Yeah, man. And the penalty kills for Dallas Stars were awesome last night, man. Except for, they did let up one goal on a power play, but other than that, they were really, really good. Just getting the puck out of the zone, kept doing it over and over and over again. I was like, yes. Nice, man. The home crowd in Boston couldn't do anything for them, man. So when you take a look at this here, Dream, the Blues, Blackhawks, you don't really have a side on that.
No.
What you got the rest of them up?
I do have the rest of them up, and the one that is sticking out to me, which I struggle with even mentioning it to you guys, but I do expect them at some point to get it going, and it might be this evening. As they picked up a little bit more and they won a couple. Maybe they figuring it out over there. And that's the Anaheim Mighty Ducks,
yes,
who we've been waiting for them to show up, and they haven't shown up this season. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna get involved, as I'm talking about it, I am recommending that it be a very, keep your eye out. It's a light lean. It's a very light lean, but I do think that the Ducks, I would like them to get at some point. I mean, this team's got to start showing up and playing like they're playing up to potential. And I'm expecting them maybe to come up and show up tonight and play this Panther team and beat them.
That sounds like your instincts coming into play.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because the Anaheim Ducks are averaging just over one goal a game.
Terrible.
Terrible. Brutal, man. 1.27 goals a game. Unbelievable.
Terrible, man.
Florida Panthers are 5-6 and 2.51 goals a game. They are averaging as far as offense is concerned. And their defense has been really good, man. 2.09 goals per game, which is pretty strong for the NHL.
They don't blow you away, though, offensively. Obviously, they're, powered by Yager. So they don't really blow me away on the off. I mean, it's a team the Ducks can beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's why like you said, you're right. It is more of an instinctual play. So guys, take that with a grain of salt, and it's a light lean.
I mean, when you look at this, I mean, just in fantasy alone, now, as far as wings are concerned, I mean, you got Corey Perry for the Anaheim Ducks, right?
Yep.
Almost $7,000 as far as his budget is concerned. Going back to last year, obviously they're looking at some stats, last year, this year, but he's averaging 1.9 fantasy points per game. And I mean, almost $7,000. That's absolutely outrageous. You know what I mean? Just based on his performance, the first 12 games or whatever it's been. So I don't know. There's some people that'll probably take a shot with him tonight. I would not be one of them as far as fantasy is concerned, guys. I think I'm going to fall back and I'm going to wait for the Anaheim Ducks to get in their groove a little bit before I start really drafting a lot of their players. So that's pretty much it, Dream. Other than that, as far as the other matchups, I don't really like them. Tonight's my night for Empire, kid.
No doubt.
I'll be watching Empire tonight with the bride. Little bottle of wine, little chill, because you know what? I'm trying to make sure that the divorce attorney doesn't get called. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. Please don't let the divorce attorney get called. It will be very memorable experience if you do.
Well, I can tell you this much. I do love my wife very much.
No, me too.
However, if there's a chance that your boy is going to be on the single market at some point,
yep.
Let me tell you something. This show will go from like 0 to 100 real quick. Just put it at that. Because you know what? I'll have stories every single day.
I know you will. I know the stories will be deep.
But you know what? Hey, but you know what? Right now, I'm very, very happy. So
yeah, no, I'm not. And me, I will have stories too, but it will mostly be me going on a tirade about how ticked off I am that I don't have a bunch of stuff that I used to, and how uncomfortable my life is right now. I'm having trouble adjusting.
Oh, guys, we're having a great time here on the biggest show in the world, man. Marla just sent me something. Says that Zach Greinke has opted out of his contract with the Dodgers and is heading for free agency, man. Who's going to pick up Greinke?
I don't know.
I think, dude, I'll be honest with you. I think with as low of a payroll as the Houston Astros have, I think they're going to go after Greinke. Imagine if they had Greinke, Keuchel. Oof, they'll be nasty next year.
That's, you know what? That sounds good. I don't know. That does sound pretty decent.
The lowest payroll in baseball, bro. They can afford it. So hey, I'm surprised the Dodgers are going to let him go away. I mean, they may end up re-signing him, but for the most part, I mean, that's pretty kind of crazy, man, that Zach Greinke may not be a Dodger next year. So something to take a look at, man. As far as some other teams are concerned, I mean, a lot of these other teams are paying a lot of dollars for nobody, so maybe the Washington Nationals will.
The Dark Knight may be available.
The Dark Knight is probably going to be available as far as
we just gonna just call him Dark right now. There's no need to have the Knight added on to his name because he is definitely not Batman.
Mr. Matt Harvey, you are referred to as far as the Dark Knight is concerned. Hey, we had to splash in a little bit of baseball, and thank you, Marlon, for sending us that information.
No doubt.
Appreciate it. So that's pretty much it, Dream.
Is that where we're at?
Show. That's it. That's where we're at.
We ain't talking about no NFL. You ain't talking about Tim Wisenhunt getting fired, son.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you got? I mean,
that's gonna fix it.
Yeah, right.
Good, big ups to Tennessee. They just fixed their whole problem firing Wisenhunt.
Yeah, right.
They're going to pick up Philbin now.
I remember, yeah. I remember your boy B-Mac came on. Our boy B-Mac. He came on a couple years ago. He said Wisenhunt was there and they were going to be terrible.
Yeah, he did say they were going to be terrible because, just listen, dude, there's nothing you can do about, first off, Mariota got hurt, and then you got nothing around him. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you got the same thing going on in Miami. I mean, Tannehill's not a good quarterback. No. It all revolves around the quarterback and then the people around him. And another reason why I can't wait to get to this weekend, because there's another team with nobody around the quarterback that is playing at a high level right now, but I sure don't think that's going to continue.
All right, sounds good, man. That's a little cliffhanger for Sunday's show. Well, I almost have to disagree with you on a certain extent.
Oh, stop it.
Because Andrew Luck is a very, very good quarterback, and the team just stinks.
Andrew Luck is a very good quarterback, but the Indianapolis Colts, they've never had a good defense, which they still don't. And I don't know how banged up or not banged up Andrew Luck is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
was saying that the other night that he thinks he's hurt.
Yeah, he had that injury, and there's still some rumblings about his injury. Maybe the balls don't look like he's injured coming out. So I don't know I don't know what the injury is, but it doesn't look there. But sometimes that still messes up your mental and your psyche as well. So I don't know if that's what's going on with him, but Indianapolis Colts is one of those teams, just like the Detroit Lions player. I like Stafford's I think he's a good quarterback too. Yeah. And a lot of talent around him. They just can't win games.
I love Stafford. I think Stafford's awesome.
Yeah.
I've always thought that with the little sidearm sling he's got going on, man. It's definitely a great quarterback, great athlete. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. You say it all revolves around the quarterback, but sometimes it's play calling, sometimes it's coaching. There's a lot of different variables. Sometimes your offensive line, you got the best quarterback in the world that can't scramble, like your boy, for instance. If his offensive line stunk, he'd be on his ass the whole game.
I agree with you, but you're talking about teams, though, that have already had some success with their quarterbacks. So we know that their quarterbacks are good. In the case of Miami, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not really been any success with that quarterback. Yeah. So, and even in other locations. So those guys, like, you guys, you never had any degree of success. So, I don't think any's coming. You know what I mean? At least, we know that Stafford can play at a high level in the NFL, and we know that Luck can play at a high level in the NFL. We also are probably on the hump with Russell Wilson. So we have to see, obviously there's some other situations, offensive line, offensive coordinator, other dynamics behind the scenes that have been changed or adjusted that have to be ironed out and fixed. I don't know what they do in Detroit, because Detroit is like a complete nightmare right now. But those things we know. When we go to the Dolphins and we go to the Niners, we're talking about we probably got to get rid of these quarterbacks that are in the starting position, period, and just start rebuilding again.
Yeah, well, you know what? They just wrote a big check to both of them guys. So, hey, it is what it is. And Rainmaker's just reminding me that the offensive coordinator for the Colts has been fired.
I know he has. They might want to keep on firing, though. Keep firing.
I don't know. You know what? Guys, what's the date? Today is November 4th, 2015. There's something in the bottom of my stomach that says that the Colts make a run towards the end.
They're winning their division, dog.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's something. I saw a little something there in the second half of the Carolina game where they could have won that game, by the way, in the rain.
No, they could have won it. You're right.
I think the Colts make a run at some point.
I agree with that. I happen to agree with you wholeheartedly. They're going to be around, and they're going to be one of those low teams that is a lot better than what their record is saying. Right. If they could figure out, but they still got to do some work on that defense.
Son, I know it was versus a third-string quarterback, but you had a 7-8-1 Carolina Panthers team with a losing record go into a playoffs and actually win a game last year. So I know it was versus Ryan Lindley for the Arizona Cardinals. I get it, but I think the Colts in that division are a very similar situation.
I happen to agree. I think the Colts are better. If you ask me, the Colts to me are better than Carolina was last year.
And the defense, I don't know how many guys have returned on that defense from last year, but they did go out and beat your boy last year in the playoffs.
And that's another, and that's why I'm glad you just brought that up again. And without his arm looking like it looked, because he looked incredible last year and still managed to mess up the playoffs last year. So that's why I'm not falling for Denver. Hey, let's get up out of here this piece. We can go on for days about this. I want to thank everybody out there retweeting the show. We got my man Terrence Mack, Lewis Carter, RCI Picks. Welcome to the party. AB Lynn. We got Dr. Dizzle in the house listening in. What's going on, Playboy? KMVU, Holiday, Jay Snyder, Tip Talker's out there. The incredible Molly Marr is out there. Joseph Del Rosario, the pick. Vegas Girl 92661. JDH 24, which is my boy James Charleston's out there, getting Aussie bookies out there, randomly unpredictable. Christos, C. Rodriguez Jr., Scott Weaver's out there. You know, he had to listen in because he wanted to hear what we had to say about Clemson. Scott, they stink. No, Casey Erickson is out there. Nicholas J is out there. B for Press. Hey, if there's any fairness in football, Florida State laid a smackdown on Clemson this week and beat them by 21 points. B for Press is out there. MG86, Razor Ramon, Yippa82, Philly Picks is out there. Hey, Philly Picks, good morning to you. I have not returned your DMs. I'm sorry. I've been quite busy, and a few people out there have hit me up. I'm going to try to get to you guys today. Sorry about that. Just been a little bit busy. Superlock Sports is out there. My boy OJFB, what's going on? Jason Riley, Heavy 365, Rick Lopez, Wayne Yarborough, Long Woo, INT, BT, Louis Salazar, Sin City Maverick, my boy Irvin, Ciroc King J, LA WizKids. Guys, thank you so much for retweeting. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you so much for listening to the Redick and dealing with me. Scott Weaver, you know I'm only clowning with you. It's all good. Love to have a guy with a sense of humor that I can play around a little bit. As you are, know you've been part of the family. You've been there since day one, so please don't take any of the attacks as personal as they are not. I wish you the best with your Clemson team, but I do hope they lose this week. That being said, I have the dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, we started doing something in the lab yesterday, and we are very excited to be moving in another direction of the show that's going to be bigger and better as we go, and we're looking forward to making that announcement at some point, so just stay tuned for that. We love you to death. Go out there. Go easy. Try to do the balance so you don't have the divorce attorney being called by your brides.
You have, because if you get that call, trust me, it is way worse than you think it's going to be.
So, you know what? Wednesday is my night with my bride. I am not getting involved in anything. I'm just getting involved with a bottle of wine and watching my show Empire. We love you to death. Go out there. Go easy. Do your own homework. Take your own plays. Make all your dreams a damn reality and get that money. Let's go.